Out in the club and the heat is on, or lying on the beach till the break of dawn. We're gonna beat Miami. What a nice victory, Raptor fans. Welcome. Slang 666 with a little bit of a game recap, and then we'll go into the top three plays of the game and my player of the game. Let's get in it. Let's get into it. Raptors fans know that the Raptors love to start slow, and it was feeling stressful once again as a Raptor fan. I hate to lose to, we had DeMar in the other day. Sucks to lose to ex-Raptors. We got Kyle Lowry in the house. The G.R.O.A.T, supposedly. I don't know. We could debate that. Let me know in the comments if you think that Kyle Lowry is actually the G.R.O.A.T. Also, hey, like, subscribe, share it with a friend. But yeah, Raptors fans know we start off slow. We were down by 8. We were down by 10. We closed out the second quarter. Brutal. First half. It wasn't good. It wasn't good. They were just ticking away, ticking their lead up higher as we let it happen. But wow, what a third quarter. Oh my gosh, man. We came out firing. And at one point, it was a 21-0 run. I mean, they came back and they had a 10-3 run, I think it was, to get back in the game within 5 after we were up by 10. But we stepped on their throats at the end of the fourth quarter, which is so fantastic to see. This is what we need. We needed OG to go crazy. We needed... Fred VanVleet, Steady Freddy, hitting threes. Boucher with 11. It might have ended up with more than that. Again, I have the NBA League Pass, so I switched over to the Miami feed because it's always fun when we're winning to hear the other team mispronounce our players' names. Clearly, they don't watch the Raptors. They don't know who we are. They kept saying Anunoby. But, yeah, Fred VanVleet killed it. Boucher... they said had 11 in the fourth quarter of his 15, but he could have ended up with a couple more. I think he might have had another 2 at least. Wow, great fourth quarter by him. Delano Banton sadly didn't return. I think they said he twisted an ankle, but probably for the better. He was not on his game tonight, missing threes every time. And man, like I've said 100 times, I'm from Etobicoke. I was born in Etobicoke. I'd love to see the Etobicoke boy thrive on the Raptors. Local kid. But this was not the game for that. He had a couple of decent... I think he had a nice layup. Actually, he had one really great play where he extended in and just went straight to the bucket and even sort of... I think they said he switched to his left hand and, dropped it into the hole. Awesome! But yeah, his threes were brutal and it was getting painful. They were, I think, leaving him open even... around his third and fourth attempt, both sort of on the camera side anyway, on the right. Kind of rough, though, when, Banton's not playing well, because they had a lineup out there at one point of Banton, OG, Boucher, Koloko, and Gomez, which was really messing with Miami's passing. I mean, those guys are all so long being out there at the same time. You could tell it was disruptive, and Miami was just having a tough time trying to get their plays going, passing it around. But yeah, when Mr. Banton is going to miss his threes like that, he starts to become a little bit of a liability out there because he does a few little nonchalant passes once in a while, which I wish he'd be a little crisper. He can have those stolen. I don't think they had any turnovers because of those this time in this game, but he still had a couple that were close and they were going for it, and I hate to see that. And Gomez too, sadly. I'm cheering for this guy, maybe because we all saw the Adam Sandler movie, and now we've got him on the team. Actually, they commented though that it's his 7th year in the league, and you can kind of see why maybe he's not getting regular minutes. They don't seem to run plays for him, although they did do a nice one where clearly they had him on the screen and roll, and he rolled over to the 3-point spot, and they got him a look, but he missed. And so, yeah, Gomez, you're not going to keep getting plays run for you if you keep missing. And the other times that he ends up with the ball just, out of the ball going around, being passed around, he is too slow to jack it up. It's frustrating. he sort of catches, like on a catch and shoot, he's getting the ball, and then it's like he hesitates a second, and then the defender's there, and then he's like, oh, I'm going to kick it out. Maybe if, or pass it along. Maybe if that shot is falling, I suppose he'll be more confident to kick it up, but quicker before that defender can get in his face. But yeah, it's frustrating to watch because, you know, obviously today's game we need that 3-point shooting. Raptors don't always have it going, so it'd be nice to have somebody, coming into the game that can put those up and hit them consistently, especially with Otto Porter out. Yeah, the other great thing about Gomez, if he's actually hitting his shots, is that they can use him as a decoy more often. They ran a fantastic play where Gomez was, sort of at the top of the key center by the 3-point line, and Van Vliet's waving him. You can tell they're trying to run a play, and the defenders are kind of reacting to this, thinking, "Oh man, they're going to try and set up, Gomez on another screen and roll." So then he comes in and sets the screen, but then Van Vliet throws it up for an alley oop to OG. That was sweet. That's the kind of thing that we need to see more often. And if Gomez isn't going to keep, hitting his shots, then those plays aren't going to work because they won't fall for it. They'll know that we're not going to be running a play for Gomez. So anyway, yeah, we just got to get this guy going. I mean, again, he's probably getting extra minutes, obviously, because of Gary Trent Jr. being down, and no Precious, and no Pascal. We were lucky to have Van Vliet, do what he did in this game, coming off of the injury. But yeah, he seems to like that. He seems to, I don't know, it's almost like he hears the people like me saying, should we maybe trade Van Vliet? Because we didn't do too badly without him. And then he comes back and goes crazy and decides that he's going to prove that we need him on the team. Yeah, because then he comes right back and, drains a three after he does that alley-oop to OG. So, but yeah, wow, there were some great plays in this game. So let's jump into the top three. Yeah, I'm going to say that my number three play has got to be it's sort of an all-around team play because it was just showing the effort. When I mentioned we stepped on their throats in the fourth quarter, and there was a play, again, I'm sure if you go over to the highlights, you'll be able to see it if you didn't watch the game. But Thad forces a rebound, like just out of sheer, will. He gets the ball. He's got two defenders trying to get it, but he makes sure that he hangs on to it. I think it might have been passed to somebody first and then Van Vliet, but I think he got it out to Van Vliet. Oh, I know what it was. He passed it out to Van Vliet, but Boucher was kind of there too. That's what it was. And Boucher kind of catches it for a second, and both he and Van Vliet are like, oh, yikes, playing hot potato with it. Fred ends up, sort of like, here, I'll take it, and Boucher clearly sort of pushes it into him. And then he steps back to shoot the three, and it gets blocked. And OG just happens to be in the right position. He goes to the open floor. Ball comes right to OG. He turns, hits like a little, 3-4 footer, easy bucket. But that was where I felt that the momentum shifted, and Miami was just like, oh, Jesus, we, are not going to be able to take this game. And yeah, so that's my play number three. My play number two of the game was, OG had a fantastic game. I think he had season high. Did he end up with 31? But yeah, great game. But funny, I think that the second best play of the game was a pass by him, because love OG. Don't take this the wrong way. He can be the man, but we all see him once in a while. He starts getting too aggressive. He's getting stuffed, or just frustrated because I don't know. I think in his head he psychs himself out, and maybe he's convinced that I don't know. He has some self doubt. It feels like so, especially at the end. Again, we all know Pascal was in this position a few years ago, and he seems to now be over the hump. So I think the Raptors, if anything, we've got enough money, and there is a salary cap. We should invest in psychiatrists to work with these guys. We need the world's top. We already have supposedly the best, physio therapy staff. Well, we should also have the best mental staff. But yeah, the same way Pascal's over it, I'm hoping OG will. But there was a play towards the end of the fourth quarter where OG's trying to do everything, because they're just feeding into him because he's having a hot game anyway, and he does seem to be hitting, his fadeaway. He had a nice, actually, little fadeaway with the left. But this play in particular, he's coming around. The shot clock's winding down. You can tell he's in trouble. He's getting double, triple teamed, and nobody's open. And Boucher, just perfect timing with, I think 3 seconds, maybe 4, left on the shot clock. Boucher comes in cutting from behind the 3-point line in the corner, and he just got it to him, and Boucher made a nice dunk. Again, another, nail in the coffin as far as in the psyche, speaking of psychology, of the Miami Heat. And that was my play number 2. And my number 1 play, again, actually it's funny, I said I switched over to the Miami broadcast because it's fun to listen to their commentary on the Raptors. But thank goodness I was listening on the Toronto broadcast, or the Canadian broadcast, for this play. It was early in I think it was still the first quarter, yeah. Because let me check it. It made it 21-27, 21 for the Raptors. And they were running a play. Obviously, we all know they love to circle out and do their little handoff and kind of, one comes from the other side and they're swarming around, circling around. And they were doing one of those plays. And Van Vliet ended up with the ball going away from the camera. And he ended up, you thought that he was going to maybe try and, go for an open spot or use one more screen to get open to try and put up a 3. But instead, he lobs it up to Koloko for the dunk. And not only was the play fantastic, but that call from Matt Devlin, he said something about, you think I'm taking the Gardner, but I'm on the DVP. And it was hilarious. Very Toronto-centric reference. And cracked me up, and even had Alvin Williams, commenting afterwards. And I love that comment. Or I think it was actually, you thought I was going to take the Gardner, but I'm on the DVP. Anyway, hilarious. And that's my play number 1, because we're finally, I've criticized Van Vliet for some of his alley-oops on some of these past videos because he's been not good. Either throwing it too high, throwing it too low, too early to the side. Again, probably because he's such at a height disadvantage out there with the other players. Again, I think he's a couple inches taller than me, or at least an inch according to what they record him at. I'm not knocking him, but nice to see that he's finally got the aim going, because he had a couple of decent ones this game. And that's my play number 1. And then going into the player of the game, I mean, it's got to be OG, oh my. Like I said, I had to listen to them saying Anunoby, but they couldn't stop talking about him. They were, shocked. They're talking about where he was born, where, that he was born in England, and what schools he went to, and where he was drafted as the Raptors, what they say, 23rd, I think, 23rd pick. They're talking about his 7th year in the league, and his average points in the playoffs last year. I mean, it was really heavy OG Anunoby talk on the Bally Sport broadcast, out of Miami. So, anyways, thanks for making it this far. You guys are the best. Like, subscribe, send it to a friend. I've had subscriber number 19 give me some really constructive criticism, so really appreciate that. Want to say Mr. Beast for President, and please like, subscribe, share it on Facebook or Twitter or whatever social media platforms you guys are using. It'll only take a few seconds, and it'll help me out. I'm trying to get to 20 subscribers. It's so close. I can taste it. Anyway, thanks. You guys are the best. See you next game.